All right, all right, all right, all right. How are we doing? Sunday at noon 01. I thought I was hitting it at noon. I hit begin stream. It was at noon, and by the time we started, it was afternoon. That's okay. So, hey Damien, how you doing, bud? Yeah, we'll talk about the Emily Kaplan thing. I talked about it last night in the recap a bunch. Um, I think Emily Kaplan is taking pieces of information that she's heard from Kevin Weeks and kind of paraphrasing some things that Zito said in a recent interview and creating a story out of it. That's just my opinion. Hey Metal, how you doing, bud? Hey Metal, your tweet's the one on the Bally's TV commercial. You're aware of that, right? You've seen that, I'm sure. My flag is in the same commercial too. The one hanging up on the wall. Well, not my flag, but it kind of was my flag. They must have bought it for me because that's the only place you could get those flags, or at least used to. They're gone now. I got about a half dozen left that I'm keeping for um, to give away on whatever the last game of the year is for us. Hopefully, um, we know which one it is. Yeah, Meadow. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it's it. You have to pause it. You have to pause it to see what you said. But I saw a medal. Yep. Hey Heather. Hi Coop. Mike. Yeah, good game. Yes, right. Um, just I mean, I did not see 4-0 coming. I don't think any of us really saw a shutout coming. You're going into Detroit. They're desperate for points, and the way that game started off, it kind of felt like it could have been one of those games where Detroit gets a goal and and then it kind of got away from us a little bit. You know what I mean? But not to be, man. These guys, they just have so much confidence. They're just going to be unfazed through everything. Hey Vincent, how you doing, bud? Thank you. But yeah, this is the sweatshirt that MJ got me. He got me a sweatshirt and a jersey, and he got Kyle. Kyle, I think, has the a shirt and in this style. Maybe we both have t-shirts of this style. I don't remember, but yeah, this MJ got this for me. And Detroit has one of the best offenses. Yep, no doubt. It's exactly right, Mike. We got into the Wings' head in the third, and they had no pushback. I don't think they realize. I don't think the Wings realize that we get better as the game goes on. If we're playing our game, we just grind you into a pulp, man. Hey JC, how you doing, bud? Heather says I only got to listen to it. I put this one down as we would get the L. Hey Raven, how you doing, buddy? Mike says all the Wings threw at us was Spring and Kane on a breakaway and a power play trying to hook up to Brinkat and Kane. Yeah, I wonder if Kane still thinks he made the right decision. You know what I mean? I found that was interesting that, from what we've heard, from what we've been told, it's been alluded to that he turned us down, and then Bubba got him 3 times yesterday. So James says they've all been going right. Raven, I saw that. I saw that too, but I didn't get a chance to read into it, like what the context of that picture was. Um, that's not something you see every day. Of course, it could be AI, right? I'm sure somebody could create a grainy enough picture. Probably wasn't, but it could be. Why would they hug her? And it's just like that's a very odd thing, but I suppose it happens. Mike says Red Wings look better against us like a team before they acquired Kane. Yeah, look, they were in good shape, and then they lost a bunch of games when he first came in. It's not always the best move to try and rearrange things because of one guy. I get what they were going for, but Luis, yeah, I agree with you there. That's a good point. Yeah, Vincent Sherrod caught you by surprise. He didn't show that kind of passion while he was here. Um, I guess it's kind of hard to be like the new guy, right? When we brought him in, it was a trade deadline deal, so he was kind of the new guy. And he was not that player though, that's for sure. You know, guys come here and they get an edge and they leave. You know what I mean? Hey, Derek, Spaceman, that was just made up by a fan. Okay, so it was AI. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Zito did all the work last summer, right? There was a controversial photo of an MLS ref wearing a Messi jersey. Eric Paul says, anyone see the giant line that we had shaking hands with the ref at the end? Are we sure that that wasn't AI? Because somebody up above is saying that the picture of OEL hugging the ref is AI. James says, we don't need to make a move. Rodriguez made a strong case for himself the past few games. As soon as Maurice put Bennett back up with Kachuk put Cousins back up with Bennett and Kachuk and moved Rodriguez to Lustenrein and Lundell's line, both of those lines just been buzzing, even when they don't score. Puck possession and just overall attitude. It's been a really good run that we're on right now. Hey, JDR, Colby, how you guys doing? Julian, they're a younger team. I mean, I know they got some, maybe they're not as young of a team as I think. I mean, it's kind of mixed, but you know, Larkin's no youngster, Schrott's not a youngster, Kane's not a youngster, right? Look, you gotta. I don't want to say this in a way that makes it sound like I'm getting overconfident because I don't want to appear to be overconfident. But we've got a really good team. And that's kind of what I was saying with Kyle yesterday on the stream when he was bringing up certain points. And at some point, you just have to look at our team and be like, we got a really good team. Like there's one thing left that we haven't done, right? But this could be the second and third year that we're getting the President's Trophy. We lost last year in the finals. We're living it now. This year, next year, these are the years that when we look back, these are the ones we need to be winning cups plural, or at least one these next 2 years. Hey, Prince, let's see. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Florida is deep into the heads of many players. Yep. No, Mike, not with this team. Not the closest, and you can't even say the closest. We set ourselves back. We set ourselves back a little bit after the Islanders lost when we made so many changes and the whole Tom Rowe thing and the bringing Dale Talon back. That set us back some, but it all ended up where we are now. So we're in good shape. Would I rather have Samo in place of Lockwood in the fourth line when Gadjevich can't play? No. I do want Samoskevich to be on the playoff roster. I would like to see him be. What I would like to see with Samoskevich is if somebody in the top 9 gets dinged, he gets a shot before you go messing around with anybody else. Hey, Trey, how you doing, bud? Exactly, James. Yeah. What do we got? Hey, Manda, thank you very much. Thank you, Manda. Says 21 games left. I see the remaining games being more physical. If last night is any indication, we don't need injuries to key players at this stage. Absolutely agree. Thank you very much. And yeah, who else skipped a beat when Kachuk when Kachuk got flipped on his head yesterday? That was scary. That was a little bit scary, especially the way he landed kind of like almost shoulder first a little bit doing that flip. That was definitely but he's fine. Maurice said he's very durable. So and I was like Maurice, I was also worried about because he kind of got swiped there on the knee there a little bit. Did I see Rempe versus Reeves? I did. I saw it early this morning. It was like the first thing on my feed when I checked my phone. So I didn't get a good look at it because I think Karen was bringing the coffee over. But I did see it. But I'm meaning to go back and look at it again. Mike says the Trocheck trade, many fans didn't get it at first, but look now, we wouldn't have depth like Lusterreiner, and the second line center position wouldn't be open, and Bennett wouldn't have come here. Yeah, that trade, that paid dividends for sure. Yeah, and I don't know how well Trocheck would have gotten along with Maurice. I know that's that's further on down the road when all that happened, but yeah, the Trocheck trade turned out to be it's you don't see that a lot too. When you trade a veteran guy like that, and there's always that prospect, right? Like Cole Schwint was thrown in with the Kachuk deal. There's always that guy, and Lusterreinen at that point was kind of just like in some prospect. Luster who? What? E2? What's his name? So, but it doesn't always work out where the extra guy that you get thrown into the deal, because we got Holla, and that was Wenberg, right? That was when we got Holla and Wenberg in that deal. Let's see. I want to catch up here a little bit. Yeah, I know there's people that want Kachuk to get injured. Yep. Damien, yeah, I talked about that. I talked about last night when it happened. I talked about that. Emily Kaplan, in terms of, I talked about the recap yesterday, using the words that she is using. I reverse engineered what she's saying, and she's not getting that as one story. She's taking the Kevin Weeks tweet and she's combining the language that Zito used when he was in the interview, kind of talking about how he probably wouldn't make a deal. And she's taking Weeks' tweet and Bill's language, combining it to write us to put a story that's probably not the way it is. And I like her. I'm not being critical of her because I get it. That's the job. But she's pulling together information. She's piecing some things together that aren't necessarily related in terms of being willing to move our UFAs and getting creative and everything like that. And the way Bill was saying it was more along the lines of he didn't really want to move the UFAs. And in terms of being creative, he was talking about not having first round picks. The way Emily reported it was kind of Bill Zito is taking calls about the UFAs and wants to get creative. So she's taking things that aren't related and crafting a story about it. And I agree 1,000,000% with Coop. I'll be happy when the trade deadline comes and goes. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I guess you guys are talking about the fight. Right. Julian says, okay, you guys are talking. Yeah, there's no test for this team. They've been showing this momentum for a year straight. You guys are talking about the Rempe fight. Yeah, I'd have to watch it. I like I said, I saw it first thing in the morning, and nothing struck me again like, oh, I need to watch this again. It didn't look like a whole lot of much. Vincent, yeah, exactly. Fake news. Yep. But what caught my ear about it, Vincent, was when she was saying the part of, they got to get creative. And I know in that video that I did of Bill in his interview, I know that was words he was using, and he wasn't. She's making it sound one way, and I really think that what I said in the recap last night, to me, honestly, I think is more about what's going on, which is, I think the agents are playing the other teams because if other teams think the Panthers might get a guy, they might up their willingness to up their offer. There was a question here I wanted to get to. Metal says, if I absolutely needed to make a realistic trade, what would I do? Duke for a fifth. That's what I would do. If Bill Zito came to me and said, you had to make one deal, I would get Duclair for a fifth, put him on the line with Bennett and excuse me. How would I work that? No, I would get Duke. I'd put him up top with Barkov. I'd move Verhage back down, and then we'll see how it goes. If I had to make a deal, that's the deal I would make. And the reason why I would make that deal is because you already know the guy fits in chemistry wise, and you don't have to move any pieces to make the deal happen. And if he doesn't work out, if he doesn't want to work as hard as we need him to, he goes to the bench, and we only gave up a fifth. So that's why I would make that deal. Again, if I had to. Mike says Red Wings fans were complaining that the refs were on our side when Larkin literally, talk to Tex Gotcha. Talk to Tex Gotcha. I'm trying to read it, but it ain't working out. Collapsed toy twice. And got a sleeping bag. I lost him. I lost you there. I don't think we're going to move any of the UFAs, right? No, I don't think we're going to move any of the UFAs. That's the one. Derek says, do I think anything will happen to Spencer Knight? If we're going to get any of these guys, if any truth to the Hanifin thing or Gensel, Spencer Knight would be the guy on the outskis. But in order to move Spencer Knight, you have to know if you're going to be able to re-sign Stolars. And to know if you can re-sign Stolars, you have to already know at least that you've got Reinhart and Forsling. You're in the ballpark of the numbers and you can afford it. So, Larkin went collapsed toy and dove on the ice. Gotcha. Okay. Now I get what you're saying. Jonathan, thank you, buddy. Thank you, Jonathan. Much appreciated. All right. Thank you. He says, Rangers commentator last night said Panthers are the team to beat in the East this year. A lot of the people giving us love, hate, about time, LOL. Don't need Hanifin. A scoring forward for the mid-six is it. Yeah, I agree. Look, if you're going to – you got to sign him. I mean, he's going to want the same amount of money Montour is going to take. So, I mean – if you could get Hanifin for picks and prospects because you already knew you weren't going to be able to re-sign Montour and you knew Hanifin would sign, okay, but you still at that point either have to blow up two of your defensive pairs or put Hanifin on the bottom pair and just move Kulikov off. I've seen a couple people talk about a willingness to move on from Niko Mikkola, and I want to smack on. Are you kidding me? We just got this dude on a cheap deal, right? It's either $3 million or it's like $3 million for 4 years or $4 million for 3. I think it's $3 million for 4 years. Those are the guys you absolutely have to keep. So I would be shocked if any of these things come to pass, but if there's truth that Zito is animate about getting Hanifin, Knight, a prospect, a second. I don't think we have. I just don't want to give up anybody that's on the roster playing right now. I don't unless the return is Connor McDavid. There's nobody that I want to go get right now that to me is worth taking anybody out of the lineup that we're already rolling with right now. Fabulous Disastrous. I'm not a Panther fan, but I enjoy your channel and live streams. Keep it up. Hockey is on. Much appreciated, Fabulous. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. Yeah. Coop says, happy No More Yormark Day. Oh, my gosh. 10 years. Has it been 10? Wow. Mike says, listen up. If Florida adds, then they add the right fit, not the best player. Do not disrupt team chemistry. Yes. I agree there. Bye-bye, Will. Did something just happen, Damien? I thought we were going to tag Will because I know that's football, but Lewis says, should we get a tougher guy for the playoffs? I noticed lots of teams start to get those. A guy who will protect Tkachuk. I don't want to see him get hurt like the body check he got last night. there's really nobody to add. I mean, you've got Cousins on the ice on that line. That does help a little bit. It takes some of the dirt off of them. You know what I mean? But in terms of bringing somebody else in, I mean, if you want to bring in a guy that's just going to, be an extra, you know what I mean? You're not going to give up much. But I mean, I just love what we got going on right now. Mike says we shouldn't be looking for guys on teams at the bottom. The return player must be at least playing on a bubble team. He must be playing for something, not toiling on the bottom playing meaningless hockey. All right, I can hear that. They say he's hitting free agency. Great. So we're going to give to all the money. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, Damien. I appreciate the update, though. Exactly, Sunswine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Zito should have learned that lesson. Well, we didn't do anything last year, right? And one thing I want to do, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this today because Matthias is coming to visit. He's going to be here for a few hours. But I think over the course of this week, what do we got? We got 5 days left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back maybe the last half dozen Stanley Cup winners. I'm only going to count. Well, I will count Tampa both times. What I want to do is I want to go back over maybe the last 5 years. And I want to see who added what. Like the teams that won the Stanley Cup, who did they add? And then the teams that got the guys that thought, oh my God, this is going to put them over the edge. How'd they do? I want to kind of look back on that and see how it is. Whoa, what just happened to my chat? That was crazy. My chat just jumped. Like, that was weird. Am I still live? That was weird. My chat just scrolled all the way up to the top and then all the way back down to the bottom again without me touching anything. That's some weird juju going on in here. This is just me, Marchenko, and Duke. Yeah, Curtis, nobody. I mean, I hate to say it's not that they're not taking them seriously, or some people probably not. I mean, if we play them, it's going to be a battle, right? But it's kind of like any team. It's kind of like the Dolphins. I always use that analogy, but it is the Dolphins or the Leafs. Nobody is going to believe in the Dolphins or the Leafs until they prove that they can do it, right? They've run out of decades to have faith in the team. You know what I mean? At some point, you're like, screw faith. You're going to have to prove it before I believe you do it. I'm telling you, the Leafs are the Dolphins are the Leafs. Mike says the best player currently on the team is Barkov. Was Barkov. Will always be Barkov every day and twice on Sunday. Other than that, no one. They play as one. They play as a team. Barkov just goes out. I don't disagree with you. In terms of the guy that does everything, I agree with you. He's captain. And look, I gave him grief for years. I mean, there were some bad playoff performances. Let's be honest about that. But the player he's turned into now, even I said it in the recap last night, you don't even notice he's on the ice. And then it's not even in a negative way. He's just so consistently good. He's so consistently elite that you don't even notice when he's elite because he's just that way all the time. Like some guys, they go up, they go down, and you notice when they're turned on, so to speak. With Barkov, he just keeps doing every night. It's just like best guy on the ice overall, in my opinion. Right, Mike. And, Mike, I was thinking about that. Mike, that's a good point. Says Barkov enables guys like Reinhart to thrive. I was thinking about that earlier in terms of Reinhart. Reinhart ain't going to want to go anywhere else. Did you see that power play goal last night? Okay. When you got Barkov to Tkachuk, and then Tkachuk can get it right to him in a split second, and Reinhart can one-time it like that. Well, yeah, you could go to another team, but they don't have Barkov and Tkachuk. It's do you really think Braden Point? I mean, Braden Point's a good player, don't get me wrong. But It was Stamkos, Kucherov, and Point that makes that trio work there on the power play. And it's kind of the same thing with Reinhart. He's not going to go to, Philadelphia and be the same player he is. Nobody would be. So I think, when you look at how his success is coming, I think he'll recognize exactly what you're saying, that as good of a player as he is, that everybody makes everybody better on this team, Metal, did I see Reinhardt in the Spit and Chicklets podcast? No, I did not see that. I did not see that. I did reach out to somebody. I reached out to somebody at the top of the Panthers organization in terms of, I basically contacted the person and basically said, so can I get a player or not? That's not how I said it. I said it in a professional way, but basically I contacted the Panthers and said, yo, 2,200 videos, 7,000 subscribers. What's up? So we'll see if that happens or not. They might laugh at me. They might not, but I asked. So we'll go from there. That's a good point, Izzy. He says, ever since the new practice facility opened up, this team has been playing lights out. That's really an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. And I wonder if now I don't live down there anymore, but somebody had said that a lot of the guys live close to that area. That area must have changed since I lived there, because I saw the map of where the practice facility is. And, I'm talking 30 years ago, right? So areas change. But that would have not have been an area where the players would have lived, as far as I can remember, unless they live east. But I had not thought about that. That's an interesting point. Curtis Joseph says, are you guys worried that you might be paying Reinhardt to be a special teams player? Chat jumped. With most of his goals being on the special. No. And I'll give you an example why, Curtis. Forget the fact, remember, I think Marie said he's our right-handed face-off guy in the circle when he's on the ice. He said something to that effect. The defense that he plays, he made a pass in the offensive zone last night. I don't know if any of you remember seeing it, but both Kyle and I were just like, what a pass. He does everything. He does everything. And I mean, are we going to pay him more than we would have paid him if he wouldn't have had 50 or whatever goals he's going to get this year? Sure. If he had got stuck on 31, 32 again, we probably wouldn't be having a conversation about more than $8 million. But that kind of goes back to the thing, the video I made early on in the year where I was talking about trying to keep everybody. And it ties into what I said in yesterday's recap. Everybody on this team does something unique. And it's 9 puzzle pieces, including Nick Cousins, right? And they just fit. And you see how different we're playing once, like I said, Maurice put Cousins back at 2 and moved Rodriguez down. The puzzle pieces are just fitting. So a lot of these guys would not go to other teams and have the success. And I think that they recognize that. Not that they're not good players, but their success is dependent upon the other guy's success and the other guy's success. So hopefully they watch the videos and they understand how much we want to keep them. Heather says if 13 can get 8 years, 9, 11 million, we can pay him 9. We have 9, Heather. We have 9 to give him. And that's without moving Spencer Knight. We have the money to give these guys. And you've seen what Zito said in that video. What do you say? He says, we have a plan to pay everybody handsomely. We have the money. And at worst, let's put it this way. If we don't keep Brandon Montour and we replace Brandon Montour with a guy that's like OEL and he's only going to make $3 million, and we don't give Montour that extra money, we have money to give everybody else basically what they want. So when Verhaeghe wants 10, we'll have it. Reinhart wants 9, we got it. Forsling, you want 7, we've got it. The money's there. If you pull the right Jenga pieces, the money's there to pay everybody, but one. You can't pay everybody and keep Knight and Ekblad on the team. That we can't do. So one has to go out of the guys, Ekblad or Spencer Knight. Just one. Everybody else we've got the money for. Nick says it's walking distance from your house. Oh, wow. Nice. Let me see here. I missed a couple comments. Hey, Rosado. Robert says, I had to disagree on that. Chucky was the one who changed the culture and dominated the playoffs last year. Also, it's Chucky feeding Reinhart in the power play. Okay, so you're saying Chucky over Barkov. I mean, they do such different things. They do such different things. I think, and this is no disrespect to Chucky, but I think we could survive. Let's put it this way. If we had to survive a playoff round without one of those guys, I think we could get through a round without Tkachuk. I don't think we could get through a round without Barkov. That's just my opinion. And that's not a knock on Chucky. But when you're talking about what we would need to do to win games, the defense that Barkov provides, the gap between, I love Lundell, but the difference between Barkov, Bennett, Lundell versus Lundell, Bennett, and Stenlund, that gap is so massive versus if Chucky wasn't on that line and you had to throw, Lomberg up there or something like that. Not optimal, but it's just my opinion. And yeah, Mike is talking about how much he does. Let me get all the way down to the bottom here and I'll scroll up. Vincent, just stop throwing money around. Hey, we got, if we have it, it's not my money, Vincent. We have it. Yeah. In my imagination, Vincent, Forsling is calling Bill Zito right now and says, Jaws says you have $7 million for me, right? In my world, that's the way it works, but I'm not so sure. Lewis says, I was thinking, is it possible to structure the contract to give them more money at the end of the contract because of the ball? Yeah, I thought the same thing, Lewis, but it's not like football. Unfortunately, we could give them $2 million this year and $20 million the next year, and it's going to be $11 million per on the cap. They take the average, so you can't. The NHL is really a bitch, to be honest, when it comes to contracts versus how football is. Football, like Bob's contract, we could have long ago just gone to Bob and be like, can we restructure this? We'll still give you $70 million, but we'll give you a signing bonus and we'll extend you. And so we can make your cap hit only 5 instead of 10. Done deal. No problem. No problem in football. In hockey, you can't do any of that. It's just, you signed the deal. That's it. That's the deal. Yeah, exactly, Trey. Can we get a blue alternate already? I agree there. So, Biola is seeing money coming back too. Hey, look, the team paid for the remodel of the War Memorial. They paid for that. So they must be doing okay. I keep waiting for the team to just hire me as a consultant. Like, they wouldn't miss the $2,000 a month it would take to make me rich. That's it, man. Just come on. I mean, they're already watching the videos and stealing my trade ideas. The least they could do is pay my electric bill. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Damn it. Come on, guys. Let's see. Mike says, I've had friends and family from outside the state who love hockey who come here and pay attention to the Panthers and make it a point to go to the games. Yeah, I mean, the stand, it's the hockey is staying there. But I give Zito and Sifu all that credit, man, because when they came in, they had to make those changes, right? because suddenly it was like no more free tickets and now you want me to pay, right? And that's probably, now that I'm thinking about it, they paid for the war memorial restoration and the $40 parking. Now you know where the parking money is going to. Now you know. If the team was smart, if the Panthers were smart, they would annex the part of the Sawgrass Mills parking lot that people park at and walk, and they would be like, hey, you can park there for $5 and we'll shuttle you to the. If they were smart, they would find a way to make money out of that too. Yeah, it was great to see Rod get a goal, right? We need a Hall & Oates goal song. No, that's bad luck, man. It's bad juju. Coop says, just my opinion, I think we underestimate the money that players want. I will happily be wrong when we have the same team after March 8th next year. Well, remember, there's no taxes, right? Like they get Pedersen, what, like 11 and a half? But tax-wise, that's like 9.5 in Florida, you know? So, and maybe it's wishful thinking. I mean, look, if Reinhardt wants more than 10, if he's willing to leave because somebody's going to be able to give him more than 10, we might have a problem. That could be a problem. If you can get him for 9, it's done. It should be done, which is why I don't understand why it's not done, which is why I'm a little bit concerned that he wants more than 10. He's like everybody else getting 11 and a half. So, but if 8 by 10 is what it takes, I mean, we have the money. We have the money. We can do it, but 10's got to be the max. You know, 10 would have to be the max. And then, you know, you wouldn't be able to re-sign like a OEL. That's where losing Ludwig hurts, right? But I don't know. I the way Zito put that, he had a gleam in his eye. If you go back and watch the video, when Zito says, I have a plan, or we have a plan, whatever he says, we have a plan to pay everybody handsomely. He said that in reference to all the UFAs. He didn't say most of the guys. He said everybody, and he had a gleam in his eye. So he has a plan. He has a plan. I just hope that it wasn't. I hope it wasn't that. Well, I watched Jaws' video when he told me how much to pay everybody, because they won't like my numbers. Forsling and Montour won't like the numbers I gave them. Lewis says, "Do we expect Knight to be back next season? We will lose Stolarz. I hope not." And I don't. That came out wrong. I'd rather see Knight go to a team though he can get a chance to start, and we pay Stolarz half of what we can pay Knight, and we spend that money on keeping the rest of the guys that we have. Yeah. Bolvar says, watch the plan is to unravel the ball of yarn and watch the world burn. Vincent says, seems Lundell is going to have a great career as a 3C for a reasonable price. That's good. For now, yeah. That's another reason why I don't want to get rid of Lundell. He is a hell of a good insurance policy. Okay. Barkov goes down for a little while. Lundell goes up there. Right. And he's a good bargaining chip. You want Lundell on the team. You want Lundell and Luosterainen on the team when you're negotiating next year with Sam Bennett. You see what I'm saying? You want both of those guys on the team when you're negotiating with Sam Bennett next year. So Luis, he signed that deal. He was only offered that deal because the Panthers were worried he was going to get that deal offer somewhere else. And just like that, Jaws is double jinx. They're going to be an incoming Lundell trade video. No. Is Bennett's production on par with a second line center? His non-statistical production is he doesn't score as many goals as you would assume you would want your 2C to have. But in this system, technically, really, nobody in this system, Reinhardt isn't supposed to be doing what he's doing. Nobody should be getting 50 goals in this system. Everybody should have 25. Like, if it was a perfect, in Maurice's perfect mind, your 1C and 4C, everybody has 20 to 25 goals. Because it should be spread around a bunch. So I don't hold that against Bennett in terms of how many goals he doesn't get, because everything else that he does. Yeah, Tom, there you go. Bennett is the motor that makes the engine go. Yeah. Yep. Right. Until it's the playoffs, then Bennett becomes Yeah, no, it's a delicate balance. I put out a tweet today. I don't tweet that much, but I actually tagged Bill Zito in it. And I said, I don't tweet much, but when I do, it's to beg Bill Zito to not make any moves. And I said a couple other things, but basically I'm like, Bill, please leave it. Leave it. We're good, because you just don't know which little piece of chemistry. You just don't know which little piece of chemistry is the one that you shouldn't remove or you shouldn't add. If you can add Duke for peanuts, okay, because he fits in, right? Nobody, I mean, that's an entirely different situation. But anybody else, and you start moving lineup pieces around and having to recalibrate things. I mean, the game against the Montreal Canadiens, we allowed 3 goals for the first time in the previous 15 games, and we made up for it by shutting out the Wings in Detroit. It doesn't sound like a team that needs a bunch of changes, right? Benny and Swaggy are the power couple. Come on, says Cousins is not the glue. I kind of, the way the team is currently constructed, Cousins being able to be as successful as he is on that second line is very much the glue. Very much a big piece of the glue, because putting him on that second line and getting the production from that line without having lost anything on defense allows you to put Rodriguez, who fits perfectly with Lundell and Reinhardt on the third line, or Lundell and Luosterainen. It allows you to put Reinhardt up top so he can have that chemistry with Barkov, and it keeps Lockwood and or Gadjevich, whoever's healthy, on the ice, because those are good young players that play perfect for Maurice's system. You remove Cousins from that, you better have another piece that is going to allow you. You better have another piece that you're sure fits. You better have another piece that you're sure fits. And Rosado says Wenberg for Cousins and a couple of picks. No. I wouldn't. You guys know I would like Wenberg. But I don't want to move any of the guys that are in the top 9. I don't want to move them to another team. I don't want to take any of our top 6 in the defense and move them to another team. Those guys need to stay. If you get a Duke, if you get a Wenberg and you want to rearrange a little bit, okay. But in terms of taking a guy and putting him off the team, I don't think it's good juju, man. Especially the guys that were here last year, right? They did all that work last year. They did all the work. They almost won. They're here busting their ass again right now. I think it's bad juju if you just said, okay, Nick, Cousins, bye. See ya. We're going to upgrade just a little bit. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's good juju. You know what? I think that's going to leave a bad taste in guys' mouth. Dude was here, busted his ass last year, busting his ass again this year. We're winning with him. I don't, you know what I'm saying? John says, Jaws, I really like Cousins' play over the last 7+ games in the second line. I think he's drawing more penalties than taking. Yeah, it works. You know what I mean? And sometimes it just works. It's like relationships, man. It ain't going to be perfect. There's going to be things about her that you don't like. There's going to be things about you that she don't like. And there's always going to be somebody that you could be like, that could be a little bit of an upgrade. It could be a little bit of an upgrade. But if it works, if what you got going on is working, man, the grass is not always greener on the other side because she's prettier or the guy is taller. You know what I mean? It works. Mike. Right. Right. Hold on a second. I lost it here. Coop says, here's hoping we can do the deed this June. That's the biggest thing. Coop's got it right and hit the nail on the head. That's the biggest thing. You know, we got to win the games. That's all that's left. We have the players, and I'll be so glad when the trade deadline is done and gone. We have the players, we have the coach, we have the GM, we got the train, we've got everything we need. You want to make a minor tweak, you're still rolling the dice that it's going to get any better. We have what we need. Now what we need to do is win the games. And could you please find a way to stop getting obliterated? Like, he takes some hits that just look superhuman, that he's healed, stop taking those hits, Chucky. Stop. Be a little bit more aware of when guys are going to take a run at you. That's the only complaint I have. Brad Sage says chemistry is good. Panthers can play any style of hockey and win. Panthers have never been able to do that. Because that's the case, I don't see Zito going out and grabbing anyone right now. There we go. Yep. Nick says we're complete. John says, good point on Cousins, Shaws. We have to be ready for our 4-star lines that are going to be asked to do more in the playoffs. No 5 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the lines are good. Life is good. Trey still wants Corey Perry. Yeah, stay healthy. Yeah, Vetrano, yeah. No thanks on Vetrano, Mike. Same thing. And from what I was told, he's still taking the stupid penalties, you know? So, Cameron says, Zito put this team together with the great chemistry. Why can't he find a couple more guys who fit well in the room? Well, because you have to get rid of something to get something. That's the thing. Like I said, if you can get Duclair for a 5th-round pick, it don't hurt us nothing that we know he fits. If you can move a guy and bring him in and you are sure he's going to fit the culture, again, I mean, Stu Barnes wasn't Wayne Gretzky, but Billy Lindsay told us when they moved Stu Barnes for Chris Wells, because on paper we needed to get bigger, quote, that gutted the locker room and we felt like he robbed us of a chance. That was directly from Billy Lindsay when we moved on from Stu Barnes to get what our GM at that point thought was the right move. And then Stu Barnes went on to have, I don't know if he made the Hall of Fame or not, but he had a hell of a career afterwards. True. Yeah, Cousins' energy fits the current line, but people won't give him credit because his prior games. Hey, look, I'm if Zito acquire a complete maniac. Yeah, who's one guy? Who's one 4th-line guy? Let's talk about that for a second. I like Mike's point here. Is there like a maniac out there? Like somebody that would be like, okay, put him on the 4th line. All right. Right? If there's somebody out there that I know Trey's going to say Corey Perry. It's coming any second now. Luis, Bob is going to get an extension. I've been saying that all year. Bob's going to get a 1 or maybe a 2-year extension. Rempe. Oh, my God. Jeez. That's funny. Right? The Brady Tkachuk thing, right? Yeah, Luis, look, I get the sentiment behind the Spencer Knight stuff. I really do. But Bob's not going anywhere anytime soon. If you look at Luongo's numbers until his last season, if you look at Luongo's numbers, he was still damn good until that hip gave out him in his last year. And I don't think Bubba's going to leave. I think Bubba's going to want another year or two. Tom says, I want all the trophies. Ryan Reeves. Now, that would be something. Ryan Reeves on the fourth line. Can we play 13 forwards and 5 defensemen and just have Ryan Reeves? Mike says, Yakov Trenin from Nashville, right? I don't know what to tell you, Luis. We'll see what happens. I don't think he's gonna retire. I think he's gonna want to continue to play. And Knight has not proven to me. I would not. I think that dynamic. I think we've got other guys that we've been drafting and working on. And I'm not saying it can't happen. We could be sitting here next year and Knight could be the backup, but I'd be surprised if it happened that way. I think Knight deserves an opportunity to go someplace and start and play, right? Trey says, I say it all the time. Your dream is Tom Wilson on the Panthers. Right? How much? I think Bob would take 2x5. 2x5. If he wants to stay, if he really wants to do it, I'm not going to say he's going to take minimum wage, but I don't think he won't be worried about the money. If he actually wants to extend, it's going to be because he wants to continue to play, right? Sean Avery, right? Oh, Yanni Gord from the Kraken. Yeah, he's got some hardware, right? Avs has a good podcast. Oh, Sean Avery. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Here, let me look this up so I can give Luis some. Luis, we just disagree, man. I mean, I've been saying it all year, but we just disagree. Let me look at Luongo's. Let me see. His last couple seasons. Oh, let's see. He is, and he was older than Bob. Now, the last year, his hip went out on him and that. But before the 2 seasons where he was still 37, 38 years old, he had a .915 and a .268 save percentage. And then he had a .929 with a 2.47 save percentage. He did not have any real downhill motion in his play until that last season where the hip finally went out on him. Hey, Frank. Oh, hold on a second. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Frank. Let's see. What's he got to say? He says, doing some cat-friendly numbers, and if we get Hannafin, we're F deeper than oil. Yeah, well, yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. I mean, if you can add, like I said, if you can add them now without subtracting from the team, I understand it. But if you're bringing in Hannafin, you're basically telling Brandon Montour, we're not going to sign you next year. And if you don't think that's going to have an effect on the chemistry in the locker room, I got a bridge to sell you. Because if you're bringing in Hannafin, you're bringing him in to re-sign him. So you're either already automatically telling either Forsling or Montour, you're out, or Ekblad. You're telling one of those guys you're not going to be on the team next year. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. Russians don't give discounts. Thank you again, Frank. So we brought, I said anybody with McDavid, right? Yeah, we'd have to give up a roster player, right? Pachara says Panthers now have 2 points ahead. Oh, the Bruins lost yesterday? I hadn't even checked. I had not even checked. Thank you. Right? No, I'm not saying, Luis, I'm not saying we would want to have a big downfall. I'm saying, look, there's no sense in arguing about it. We disagree. It's not the end of the world. Right. What John is saying, and nothing against Knight, but to keep this team intact, the current method of success, again, we win with Zito and Maurice adding the pieces. Yeah, I agree. But that's okay. Look, let's put it this way. One of us are going to be right, or we could both be wrong. They could move Spencer Knight and Bob could retire. You know what I mean? It's just my gut feeling. It's just my gut feeling. Ryan says Hannafin would be brought in to replace Forsling. Their play is similar, and if we brought in Hannafin, it would be because Forsling's agent is playing hardball. I mean, right? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it because then it's just messing with the juju. It's just messing with the juju, and we got the juju going on right now. We got it going on. Yeah, John, I would assume Bob tomorrow, and then Stolarz against the Devils, right? Especially coming off of a shutout, you'd want to get Bob out there, yeah, and then give Stolarz the New Jersey game. Boston is also going for Hannafin. Right. And I think that's part of what's going on is if Boston, whoever, any of the other teams that might be interested in Hannafin, if they hear that the Panthers are pushing hard for Hannafin, then they're going to up their offer, Tom says, I think one of the 1-year team men went out. Right. Yeah. Somebody, they were talking about on Twitter how they want to move Mikkola, Luis says, I won't be happy going against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. I have a bad feeling about going against them about Vasilevsky. Yeah, I mean, that's I don't disagree there, but at this point, like I said, it don't matter who we're going to play. We got to win the games, right? We first thing we got to do is not start the first round being down 3-1. They can't do that to me again. Okay? Can't do that. I'm not saying I want an easy first round, but not getting down 3-1 would be a benefit. Yeah, no, I don't want to get rid of Mikkola either, right? Mike says, I think Tampa goes hard at Hannafin. They have a hole, and Hannafin fits the hole currently. I think that's a good fit. I think Tampa should get Hannafin because Hannafin's not going to bring Hannafin's not the difference between them getting a cup or not. And that's a really good point that they have that hole now on defense. Yeah, I like it. That's a good idea. So let them get Hannafin. Good for them. I said Twitter. I go there like once every 10 days, and it gives me enough stupidity material for a month. That's why I don't go there. Razé says, I honestly feel like we can't move any of our defense around. It's been much of a pleasant surprise. The chat jumped on me, and that's why with Eck and Monty not putting up crazy numbers. Yeah, the defense is fitting too. That's the other thing, man. It fits. It's good. We're in a good position. No, Vasilevsky hasn't been the same. I kind of figured that was going to happen, Robert. Back surgery on a goaltender. He's going to be 30 years old. He's played a lot of games. I don't know why Tampa. Is there a Lightning fan? And there's got to be one Lightning fan here. There's got to be one Lightning fan that can answer the following question for me. I have been asking this question for forever. And the only answer that I can come up to with this question is Vasilevsky doesn't want any possible competition. And the question is, why do you guys never get a capable backup? Like, why does Tampa always get like some schmuck off the street and make Vasilevsky play like 55, 60 games a year? I mean, you can get decent backups for cheap. Alex Lyon, Anthony Stolarz, right? So is it that Vasilevsky just doesn't want the competition? Is he? I mean, I've never understood that. Rempe is a goon. Yeah, he's an old school goon. He's so big. It's so weird watching him get ready to fight. It looks like he don't belong out on the ice. And I don't mean that as a slight, but it's just like, who let the basketball player on the ice, Yeah, Johansson is Jonas Johansson is the Lightning's backup. Yeah. Yeah. John says, how great is it feeling about how the Panthers are playing now and how the top 2 previous seasons with the lineup? It's right there. It's right there for us, man. James says Stolarz, I think, is the product of our goaltending and coaching. He wouldn't have blossomed anywhere else. I mean, you're not wrong. We do keep doing that. Drieger was good here. Lyon, Lyon has proven that he's worthy. You're not wrong. There's some reason why these guys come here and do that. What Alex Lyon does, it remains to be seen because we know Drieger's had injury problems. I want Lyon to have success, just he plays in our division, so not too much success. Right? Sunshine, we need a few. Weber. Is that the guy's name? Sunshine, you're saying we need a future goalie. I've been told, let me see if that's how you say his name. I've been told by a few people that we have, who's this guy? Ludovic Weber. He signed his entry level deal this year. He's 26, so he's not super young. He's 6'1", so he's not super big. But I've had a couple of people tell me that they thought he would be better than Spencer Knight, but I haven't done the research on that. So poor Luis. We found Spencer Knight's burner account. Spencer, it's nothing personal, bud. I want you to get traded to a team where you have a chance to play, right? We need what Stolarz and Lyon have done these past 2 years, though, is truly it's been fantastic. So it's no offense. It's no offense to Spencer Knight. I just think he deserves a fresh start. So we'll put it that way, Yeah, Nick, Remper's got to stop fighting every night. That's a whole nother thing, man. He's got to stop fighting every night. Let me see. Let's let me look up his stats there for you, Luis. Hold on. Like I said, I have not here we go. Let's look at his stats. Let's see what he's doing. He's 27 now. Where is he? Let's see. Oh, he's playing for the Everblades. Yeah, he hasn't had much of an opportunity. Okay, there's the checkers, right? He's got about the same numbers as Spencer Knight, though. Weber has an 887 and a 309 goals against in 15 games. And let me look up what Spencer Knight has. Just give me a second. This should be right here. Let's see. Spencer Knight stats right now this season. Come on. Give me the AHL stuff. All leagues, fine. Whatever. I'll take it. 898 and 264. So Knight's numbers are a little bit better, but nobody's really tearing it up. Nobody's really tearing it up. 887 and 898. Spencer Knight's not really tearing it up either. Certainly, a save percentage under 9 is not something that in the AHL is. Yeah, but look at it. Look at his numbers. Look at his numbers, Luis. He doesn't even have a save percentage above 900. That in the AHL. That to me, I mean, I know it's tough to tell in the AHL, but that's not screaming to me that there's a guy that's ready to do what Stolarz is doing for us. You know what I mean? True, you almost played for the Everblades. Very cool. Hey, Rinketic, how you doing, bud? Do I have something planned on Friday? Oh, I guess that's it's planned up here. I haven't worked out exactly the timing and everything. We got games Thursday, right? Let me look. We got games Thursday, right? It's Monday, Tuesday. Let me see here. because I know I would have a review. Yeah, we play Thursday, and then I'll probably work out something with Kyle where we're going to be live for more than just the review on Friday. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something for sure. Yep. So, Luis, man, yeah, no, I know we have to consider the AHL's defense. I understand. Waber's goals against is 309, and yes, Spencer's is 2.64. Spencer's played a lot more games, so it is. Look, we're just gonna have to disagree, Luis. I'm sorry, brother, and I'm not trying to be rude or mean to you. It's just I've been saying that's been my opinion the whole season, so it's not personal to you. We just gonna have to disagree there, brother, and we'll see what happens. Hey, if Spencer Knight comes back and does what we thought he was going to do from the original, I'm all for it, right? But if we can move on from him because of that contract and it keeps a player, like I don't want to keep Spencer Knight if it costs us Reinhart or Forsley. You know what I mean? I mean, we're in win now mode now, right? This year, next year, that the window is wide open, but that's you gotta win now. We can't worry about 3 and 4 years from now. Half the team is going to be different in 3 or 4 years, you know. Rinkhead, why did Lyon resign? He wanted to go someplace, exactly what I'm talking about with Spencer Knight. He wanted to go someplace where he had a chance of being the starter. And so that's why he left. That he wanted to go somewhere. And now you see him in Detroit. He's been given that opportunity. So, no hard feelings there, right? Yeah, we disagree a lot, especially all in Oates Rosado, right? Right. Yeah, it's nothing personal against Spencer. It's just it was look, and I've talked about this on the podcast too, James, or Luis. I've talked about this a lot about on the podcast. I kind of blame Talon for what's happened with Spencer Knight because he was immediately blocked from day one by a $10 million goalie. Like, not a $5 million guy that was movable. Spencer Knight was put in a position where basically, no matter what he did, he was not going, Trey's getting banned. He was not going to get to play and be the starter. Basically, no matter what Knight did, it was Bob's net and it was going to stay Bob's net. So to put a young goaltender in that position, but also have him, okay, well, we need you now to be in the playoffs. We need you now to be the backup. And we need you now to save us because our number one guy is down. There was just so much back and forth that I think the best thing for him would be go somewhere fresh where they say, Spencer, here's your net. You're the guy. We're going to grow with you and give him that chance. We'll put it that way. Yeah, exactly, Rinketic. He deserves better. Exactly, right? So Knight had his chance last year and was on the verge of pretty much taking over Bob's job. I know. And then he had his OCD issues, and then Bob got sick and Lyon came in, and it just it's not for me from the outside looking in. It was exactly what Luis is saying. Just wonder what Talon plan was exactly. What was the plan, right? And Frank, yeah, exactly. To get rid of to pay everyone handsomely, you only have to get rid of Knight. You only have to get rid of Knight to pay everybody. And if you have to lose Montour, like if Sam Reinhart and Carter Verhaeghe both go into Bill and they say we want $11 million, we can do it. You just have to move Knight and probably Ekblad or lose Montour. The money's there. It's just, it is what it is. So, all right, voice is going. We've been doing this a little bit long this morning. I got to get ready. Matthias is going to be here soon. He's coming to visit for a few hours. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you for all joining us. Thank you for all the super chats and everything. And I'll try to have something out tomorrow. I know we got a day off. I'll try to have something out tomorrow. Check the links in the descriptions. I got the other channels moving here a little bit too. Especially if you like the dog shorts, those are going to be over on the fishing and outdoors channel. Because that actually helps that channel versus it kind of hurts the hockey channel here. So yeah, came on. That's a subject. That's a definite subject we'll touch on next time because we're a little bit late here. But yeah, the Ekblad next year. Last thing I'll say, next year is Bennett, Verhaeghe, and Ekblad. So we'll be having the same conversation. Don't you love that? We'll be having the same conversations next year, just about different guys. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Rosado, your band. And we'll see you guys again later.